Hey, everybody. We're back. It's been a hot minute, but nonetheless, here we are. We got Matt and Mike with the ABO team, and we got a special guest, a special new partnership that we're very, very excited to announce. And, we've announced once, but to introduce to everybody and talk through their story, we've got Dakota and Wes here from Band of Heroes. And when we come back, we'll get into the nitty-gritty and tell their story. All right. And we're back. So, Matt Byer here. ABO Outfitters. Mike Baker. This is your first time on set, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, first time.
Welcome.
Great to have you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And along with us, we have, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Dakota McLucas. We're a part of the Bandit Heroes Outdoors team, Wes and I.
I'm Wes, and I'm the founder, and Dakota, he's my right-hand man.
Yeah, so we kind of do everything together with the nonprofit Bandit Heroes Outdoors. We'll get into it a little bit more about what we do and what kind of some of the goals are we have for the nonprofit.
And Mike, since this is your first time, Mike has joined us with ABO and kind of taken the lead and the champion on our destinations stuff we've launched here in this past year. So, Mike, I'll let you introduce yourself and run how you guys got in contact and where this is growing and where we're hoping to take it.
For sure. It was just kind of an organic meeting between the two of us, but it was working with one of our destinations out in Alaska, Dead Horse Outfitters, Jeremy Kahn, who's a vet himself, and one of his, a lady that was working alongside of him just reached out, and next thing you know, we're corresponding. She puts me in touch with Wes and says that there's a great veteran organization that Wes and Brady, who you can speak to. You guys went way back a couple years, knew each other, and that's just kind of how it was an organic meeting. And, here we are. But, yeah, I guess I'll kind of just tee you up for that, how, you and Brady and where that grew to.
So I met Brady in 2017, just on Facebook on different hunting sites, and we just started talking, hitting it off. Then all of a sudden, 2019 rolls around. He invited me and asked me to come on a black bear veteran hunt with him to Stockholm, Maine. So through that whole entire friendship, I always wanted to start an organization of my own in central Pennsylvania. And, always been kind of a little timid about it failing or whatnot. But after this January, there's some tragic news with Brady that he passed away. Mm-hmm. And I just had this time to put on the bootstraps, because if we can make a difference in helping people and helping veterans to feel appreciated and help them with their issues from PTSD to war and what other issues they have received from the military, it just, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's time to make a difference.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so from that point on, you create Band of Heroes and Dakota.
Yes. Yeah, so I worked a lot with some nonprofits in the past, Hunters Helping Heroes out of New Jersey, and I knew Wes from a mutual friend, seen what he was doing, liked what he was doing, shot him a message, just let him know that, hey, anything you need, bud, I kind of have some experience with this, give me a call, text, I'd like to help you out. And Wes kind of jumped all over it. He was definitely looking for support. And, working with Wes, he's a good dude. He's doing things for the right reason. I'm glad to be partners with him. And it kind of just, over the last couple of months, it's really, really taken off from what, our goals are and the support we're getting with the community and everyone else. It's fantastic. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what you guys do is cool. This day and age, there's just not enough talk about the mental health side of the world. And of course, with veterans, I mean, you guys know, I'm sure, in the communities you're in, what do they say? 22 veterans a day to suicide. So, I mean,
I would say it's probably close to 40 to 50 veterans a day. No one wants to see those numbers, but I just there's too many veterans committing suicide.
Right.
And they're not getting the right help. But, you know what I mean, to me, hunting and fishing, being around other veterans is therapeutic. Being up on that veterans hunt in Maine, it was nice. Like all your kind of issues went away. You didn't think about them. You just had a good time with hearing other veterans talking about their stories and your stories. So, I don't know. It's kind of like a blessing in disguise how all this started, then meeting you guys and having a great partnership and relationship with you guys. Yeah. I'm pumped to see where this goes.
So, I mean, what kind of things are you guys doing to get those veterans out and get those people who might be struggling that may not even really know they're struggling, and then they find a Maine black bear hunt that kind of just brings them out? And what kind of things are you guys doing that allows people to kind of, in a sense, find themselves and find a way out?
So right now we've been fortunate enough to get a bunch of, hunting trips, fishing trips, hopefully someday a backpacking trip on the Appalachian Trail, bow fishing. So our main way we reach out to these veterans and get their names is through Facebook now. So if you're a family member, you know your husband, your son, your brother, your friend, even yourself, wants to go on one of these trips, just shoot us a message, tell us about your service, some of the things that you've done. Normally we post the trips on Facebook about a month before we do the drawing to give folks adequate time to nominate themselves or somebody else. And then we kind of do a live drawing on Facebook Live where we have everybody's name written on a ticket, throw in a roller, and we pull them out to see who gets to go on the trip. So you don't have to suffer from PTSD. You don't have to have any issues. But right now our goal is to help anybody who is a veteran who wants to go along on the trip. So we try to focus on that. We did have one trip down to West Virginia on a high fence hunt with a veteran that did suffer from some PTSD and had Parkinson's also. So the high fence hunt, he was able to kill a hog and a sheep with that, and it was a perfect setting. It was a perfect hunt for him in his wheelchair. So we try to do what we can to help the veterans out in any way we can.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, interrupt me, man.
Sorry, I got to steal Mike.
Yeah.
No, by all means.
Interrupt me.
That is awesome. And we're so pumped that we can be a part of this with you guys, help spread the love, help spread the word, to get the Band of Heroes name just, through our channels and vice versa, just to help the common good, like obviously we thank every single veteran out there and however we can help, that's why we're here. And that's why you guys, like these guys, honestly, they flew from Pennsylvania for a day trip just to sit down and hash this out face to face. Good people know good people, and that's why we're here. So we're pretty excited about where this could go. We've got a lot of ideas, a lot of brainstorming. So yeah, who are some of the sponsors you guys working with now, and what from the beginning of this when you guys started reaching out? I know you guys have done like some raffles that took off and some contest stuff. Like who's helped you, and how where's that gone, and how has that
so first
continued
off,
to scale?
We'll talk about our partnership a little bit and how we were working together. So we had an idea to kind of raise some money for the Band of Heroes to have a kind of a gun ticket or a gun raffle, a sportsman's event. So there's been gun tickets, sold every day that has, 15, 20, 25 guns in it, but we wanted something special, something that people would want to buy. And luckily, hooking up with you guys who do a lot of destinations hunts, ABO was able to donate some of the hunts to this gun ticket. So an individual actually won a caribou hunt to Alaska, a deep sea fish or a fishing trip to Alaska, South Dakota mule deer hunt. So there was options for, not just winning a gun, but could win a trip of a lifetime too. So that really brought in a lot of people to our event and to buy tickets because of your help. Also with the veterans, taking them out on hunts. I know you guys are going to donate some hunts to us to be able to take some veterans out, not only for a gun ticket, but for the veterans to experience a trip of a lifetime too. So the partnership we have together is awesome, and it's really helping us grow to where we want to be.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't serve. I I have family members that have, but at the end of the day, I didn't serve. I wasn't in the military. I wasn't in law enforcement, nothing like that. I know that, the day-to-day is a lot different than going to a regular 9-to-5 job, and what you can deal with coming out of it, whether you serve or not. I mean, it's something that you respect. And so like Matt said, I mean, the fact that we can have the opportunity to work with you guys and provide some trips, that we have some outfitters who are very, very down to help and get involved. That's awesome. And we're more than committed to going forward, checking out, what we can do to grow. But the thing I wanted to kind of circle back on was, you mentioned the gun raffle in PA. Year one, you're expecting little to nothing in terms of a turnout, in terms of sales, and you had an insane success.
It was a big gamble. Dakota and myself, we sank most of the money that was in our nonprofit into this ticket. It was either going to be a bust or it was going to be a huge success.
Sink or swim.
And that's what awesome. We needed, because just asking people to buy T-shirts, it wasn't going to get us where we needed to be. And, meeting you guys, like all the right pieces of the puzzle were like fitting together.
Yep.
When you guys met with us, we couldn't have asked for everything to sync and fit. And, with the guns that we had, the trips that we had, Central Pennsylvania had never saw a ticket like this ever.
And you guys had a ton of different companies and local, gun shops that stepped up to the table big. I mean, you guys are giving us a lot of credit here. Hey, these people did a lot more than us. So
yeah, and for our gun event, I give credit to Wes a lot. I figured between maybe 150, 200 people, and Wes is like, "Now we got to get some tents outside just in case there's more people." I'm like, I don't think we're gonna have that many people show up, and we can only fit 200 or 300 in the building. About when
where was it at?
It was at the Duncansville VFW.
Okay,
that's in Pennsylvania. They were generous enough to let us rent out their VFW there for free, being the veteran organization we are. And about a half hour before the event ended, we had a count of close to 800 people at our event. It was crazy. We projected to sell. I thought maybe 1,000 tickets. We sold 3,200 tickets. We had over 50 baskets. Yeah, yep. Over 50 baskets donated for a basket raffle. We had Cove Creek Outfitters was there. We sold an additional 12 guns there on like the rip-off tickets. We had a huge 50-50 there. Base Camp Guns donated a bunch. Sportsman's Warehouse stepped up, and they had a package worth $5,000 worth of items. Folks could win tree stands, trail cameras, smokers. I mean, anything you wanted to do with the outdoors, that they all brought and donated to us, and we had a big package for that. It's the support we're getting is overwhelming.
Yeah, that's incredible. Like mentioning all those people that helped out and donated items and worked with you guys on something like this is year one of Band of Heroes.
Right. Yeah.
And how many months?
I think since March we really started digging in and seeing what we could do. So yeah,
6 months, and then you pulled something off like that where a lot of those companies probably are looking at demographics or asking questions like, how many people are you thinking of getting, or like how many tickets are you going to sell? And
right. We had no idea. We were
a little bit,
we were surprised.
Our goal is this, and you guys blew it out of the water. So
you want me to give you 10 guns?
Some people wouldn't even want to help us. At first, some people wouldn't even want to help us because this was our first gun raffle. Mm-hmm. It was a big gamble for them, but people gave us a cold shoulder, and for like Cove Creek Outfitters, Base Camp Guns, Double Tap Guns,
Boondock
Firearms, and Boys Imaging. It just,
they took a chance for us.
They took a huge chance because we either would have made them look good or made them look bad. And, like Dakota was like, there's even times that we thought we weren't doing good. But, leading up to the gun raffle, it just kept getting better and better. We're like, oh, man, we could be doing this. And we started doing this.
Yeah.
And I don't think we would have done it on our own. It was just the community support and the amount of folks who wanted to, likes what we do and want to make sure that we don't fail. is
Right.
what
I
would help,
don't think you guys could have made anyone look bad. This is all for a great cause. So I don't think there should be any worry about that by no means. So what are the goals then? Is this going to be an annual thing by like a couple times a year? What's the goals?
so
like,
I think
where do we want to take this?
5,000 tickets this year.
We're shooting for it. I mean, we need a bigger
Bigger
venue for it.
Just rent out the Steeler Stadium.
Maybe.
That'll be in a couple years.
So we talked about, this being our biggest fundraiser of the year is this gun event and this outdoorsman kind of thing to get people at. But as for that, Wes had a good idea about having one banquet every year too. Maybe invite all the veterans who, went on the trips over the past couple of years, have some guest speakers in there, have not like a black tie event, but a little more dressed up, just a nice banquet to thank all the veterans and everybody who was a part of us throughout the year.
Even all the local businesses who helped supported us, that we can't do it if it wasn't for the local central Pennsylvania businesses and community, because they're our backbone. And, some days it sucked, some days it was good, other days it was horrible. And, right now we're on cloud 9, and it's it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're going to be able to help a lot of veterans out with the money we raised this year.
And so, you guys are, your main town community, Bedford, Pennsylvania, correct?
Yep.
What's the population of that city?
That's a good question.
Middle between Pittsburgh and Philly, right?
Yeah, right between Pittsburgh and Philly. I would say 20, 25,000 people maybe in Bedford County.
So similar here to where we're at.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's got to be your typical just hard hat, lunch pail, blue collar.
Right. And like I told Wes, we talked about this before, I said, hey, this is going to be really hard to start this nonprofit in the middle of COVID. I'm not going around asking businesses for money whenever they, their doors are locked.
Right.
Wes looked at me and said, I think this is the perfect time.
relief.
This is the perfect time to start this. People's looking for an avenue for some happiness, something positive in their life.
An outlet.
And he was right.
Let's get outside, right?
Yep. So I think, this is something positive people can, help us out with and look forward to. I know people look forward to seeing our trips and what we're doing to help veterans. So in the world we're in now, it's nice to shine a little bit of a light, around Central PA.
Yeah. Beyond the trips that we were able to provide, what kind of other things and trips do you guys get veterans out doing or family members out doing?
So this year in November, we are going to Mitchell, Nebraska to ABO Outfitters Ministry, and we're taking a group of veterans out there from mule deer hunt.
Sweet.
And we're very excited for this. It's going to be one of our bigger hunts this year, and just the whole planning of it has been pretty significant. And
we have the deep sea fishing trip coming up next month.
We have a deep sea fishing trip with one of the Wicked Tuna boats.
Nice. That's sweet.
Yeah. It's going to be pretty awesome. After watching Shark Week, I'm not too sure about it now. But
glad you're going, not me.
I know.
And we got Black Duck Outfitters is a really, really cool waterfowl outfitters out of Chesapeake Bay. They donated a hunt for us, for our veterans, for 4 veterans, and one for our gun ticket too. So they're a good group of guys down there in the Chesapeake Bay area, Annapolis area, taking some vets out on a duck hunting trip too. Yep. That'll be probably December or January.
Nice. Yep. That'd be a pretty killer hunt.
Yeah, they're gonna have a good time. We enjoy going down to visit those guys.
Have you been down before?
Yeah, I've been down 3 times now with the same guys. They're a good group of guys. They put you on the duck, so they should have a fun time.
Yeah. Growing up, used to do a ton of duck hunting, and just in recent years, haven't done it. It's typical, same old.
Yeah.
Work, family.
Yep.
You get into chasing big game critters, and other things just kind of get pushed to the back. But something like that would be pretty dang cool. That's awesome.
It's cool to lay out there in the bay and just see between 15 and 20,000 ducks in about 5 hours fly by. The first time we went, we'll take a case of shells. That should be enough. Yeah. No, you need not a box, a case of shells. You definitely drive home with your shoulder hurting for sure. They're gonna have a good time.
That's cool. That is awesome. That sounds like a good time. What's so going forward? The future of Bandit Heroes. What do you guys see? What are the growth plans?
We want to be more involved in the community too. We want to give back to our community, and it's just besides helping veterans, we want to help people in general, taking care of school, like kids' lunches who are underprivileged. We want to sponsor sports teams. And because people are giving to us, it's only fair that we give back, because if it wasn't for all these businesses, we wouldn't be here. And, it's crazy. We want to have like 5 to 10 hunts a year, if not more, but we need help from people. It's pretty hard when Dakota and myself are doing like 95% of everything we're doing. But if we get more people on board and on the ship, it's going to take off like wildfire.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, going forward, that's always the struggle of any business. It's you find that point where now you guys have grown enough of a brand, so to speak, and how do you keep growing but also not spread yourself so thin? But that's going to be pretty cool to see. If we can do anything, of course, to help out with those 5 to 10 different veteran outings in 2022. I mean, certainly let us know. But one thing I thought was kind of interesting before we recorded, you had mentioned a possible like a geographic chapter model of Band of Heroes. So I don't know if you guys have.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So yeah, we talked about, right now we're doing what we can to help Central PA vets out. There's veterans all over this company or all over this country that need help. So if we get big enough, we'd like to maybe break off and have like maybe a West Coast Band of Heroes outdoors with some folks out there, we can talk to, maybe a Southern chapter, a Northern chapter, kind of spread across the nation. I think we set a goal for ourselves. We'd like to have hunts or trips in all 50 states by the year 2030. I think it'd be neat to, go to all across the country and let these veterans enjoy, the outdoors and help them with some issues that they have.
Oh, absolutely. And I would really like to see a Band of Heroes in all 50 states at some point. If it may not be 10 years, might be 20, but we want to go to every state to give veterans this opportunity to hunt, to fish, to work out their issues. You know what I mean? It's one person committing suicide or having issues. It doesn't sit well with me.
No, that's an awesome platform. That's an awesome goal as well. So who, like, if we put this out and we reach someone that's got interest in this in other regions, like, what's the best way to get a hold of you guys? Just reach out on Facebook, or you guys got an email?
Yeah, so right now Facebook is kind of our main platform for our social media, and it has everything on there. Our address, if they want to mail or a letter or talk to us, our email, everything's kind of on there. One thing we're doing too with these trips, like let's say somebody from South Carolina wins the duck hunting trip to Chesapeake Bay, we're going to do what we can to get them there. You don't have to be local to win.
Right.
We'll pay for your transportation. We'll help you out too. Like we want to do what we can. These hunts are 100% paid for with our nonprofit. These guys don't pay for their gas. They don't pay for their food. They don't pay for their lodging. They don't pay for anything. Another perk that we thought about too, if they shoot an animal they'd like to get mounted, we're going to pay the taxidermy bill too. We want them to have something in their home that they can remember, from that trip. I know Wes got the same thing. He got his buck mounted that he shot too. So this is meant to be 100% stress-free for these veterans.
Even if it's a duck or a fish, we're going to get it mounted for them.
Yep,
Hey,
they need something to
I
remember.
got a pheasant mounted. So.
Yeah, I got lots of ducks mounted.
Yeah, how
Very
sweet is it
nice.
when you walk into a Cabela's or a Bass Pro? They got all those ducks that are coming in and they're mounted, hanging from the ceiling. I mean, I would do that in my basement.
Heck yeah.
A bufflehead from the Chesapeake Bay. That'd be
go.
unreal.
And that's what we want to do for the veterans that we take out, so they always have that keepsake of that good time, that, hey, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
And props to you guys. Like, that was another off mic thing that we talked about earlier, is that, you just mentioned all the expenses that all these activities that you guys are putting all the man hours in, the two of you right now. Like, you guys are spread thin.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And you guys are, all those profits, so the people that are listening are going to help these trips for these people that you're giving to. So
Yep.
props to you guys.
100% of everything we make, every donation goes to the veterans.
And that's why I think this platform is just, so super awesome, that there's going to be other people out there in other regions that are going to want to give the same way that you guys are. So I could, definitely see this taking off, and the goals that you set of 50 states. And
I think we can do it. I mean, I'm surprised or crazy how big this has got already. The sky's the limit, I feel.
6 months.
And honestly, you might think it's just a $20 ticket, but if that $20 ticket keeps someone from committing suicide, just think. I know for me, do you really need that Big Mac or Whopper or that Frappuccino from Starbucks? No.
You seem like a big Frappuccino guy.
Occasionally. I do like my
splurge every now and then.
Yes, I do like my fruit.
I don't want to see you over there talking about not liking Big Macs, Wes.
I never said I didn't like them. I do like them, but I do like my. I have a white girl in me with some certain female coffee drinks, but
We'll save that for later.
Oh, and that's awesome. That's classic. Well, you wouldn't want to go through Starbucks and get just a black, regular black coffee. That's what I do, but
It's too manly for me.
yeah. Room for cream? No.
Right.
I like a little bit of cream, sugar, maybe. I like my little bit of cream, sugar, a cake pop when they're coffee cakes. You know what I mean? You just can't stop. You have to get a little bit of everything.
Oh, funny. Well, what else, boys? You
Yeah,
got,
what other questions? What other things you guys want to
what
chat
do you guys
about?
want to talk about? Any sponsors that you need to plug? I mean, I know we talked about the people that have helped you out and get where you get, kind of where you have got grown to today, but.
So I'll just talk a little about, when we land back in PA tomorrow, what's our next steps. So we've obviously are growing very large. I'm sure my wife and kids are tired of coming home and seeing Bandit Heroes store in our house every day. So Wes and I are looking to try to find a small office space or somewhere we can at least have our meetings, have all of our gear there, a couple guns there and a gun safe if, a veteran needs to borrow one, or our T-shirts, our hats, things like that. And obviously, if we're going on these big trips and we're allowing folks to, take their meat back to get processed and get their animals taxidermist, we need a trailer too. So fortunately, we have some folks willing to give us some money and possibly donate us an enclosed trailer for these trips, along with a truck or two also to help us out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's where we're at now. We'll probably go back and talk to some more folks to see, just cross our T's and dot our I's to see what else we need to do to make this stuff happen, to make sure we're prepared for whenever, these big trips do come.
And I know another thing Dakota and myself talked about, it's maybe having a family weekend down in the Smokies or some nice destination where the families can all have a nice weekend, because dealing with PTSD, it affects not just the person, it affects the families. It's easier to lash out to people you love, because they'll forgive you and stuff. It's kind of like just the best way to put it, like the heroin addict who steals from their parents. Same with like PTSD. It's easy just to lash out at people that care about you, because they're always going to forgive you, and you can always go back. So we want to do things that's not just hunting and fishing. We want to do maybe some camping trips, maybe some canoeing, whitewater rafting, hiking. It's just, we want to take this platform to whole different levels that we didn't think could be possible.
The Appalachian Trail.
Yes.
You guys been?
I think a little bit of it. I've never done much of it. I'm not. No, but we did have a guy we were working with that wanted to donate a kind of a backpacking camping trip on the Appalachian Trail. It'd be 39 miles. It'd be a 3-day hike for some veterans that were in shape and were willing to do that. So he brought up a good point, and that's kind of why we looked at what we do a little differently. He said, what are you doing for the veterans who don't like to hunt or fish? So that brought up a bigger spectrum. He's like, how about we do this backpacking trip? And then Wes brought up about the kayaking or canoeing or camping. There's a lot of other avenues that veterans may be interested in participating in, to help relax them and get them outside, besides, harvesting an animal or fishing.
And even females, they need to know, like, if you served, you're just entitled to these trips just as much as the guys are. And even though we've only had maybe 1 or 2 females enter to the trips, that all females who ever served, they deserve the trips just as much as the males, because everything, like PTSD affects everybody. It's just not guys, females.
Yeah.
It's like the whole overall group.
I mean, I think every one of them could probably end up kicking my ass. So yeah, nothing but respect. So no matter what. And so we're talking about a lot of the, just veterans. I mean, is that, what does that umbrella cover? Does that cover law enforcement? Does that cover, just anybody who's working in that sort of side of the world? What level of veteran? I mean, so I guess touch on that.
Well, I don't know. We're 100% pro-military, pro-law enforcement, first responder, EMS, because if it wasn't for those people, we wouldn't have the nice things that we have, like being able to go to the grocery store, being able to go out hunting or fishing, the basic life essentials. That
Everything we take for granted.
Oh, absolutely.
In everyday life.
Yeah, so we did actually open it up. This fishing trip, we talked about it doing something a little different. So this fishing trip, the deep sea fishing trip in North Carolina, was actually opened up to veterans and first responders, police officers, EMS, firefighters. So we had a lot of nominations. Our bow fishing trip we had, I think we had 6 nominations. We were able to take 4 veterans on that trip. But this one, I think we have over 30 already for this deep sea fishing trip. So hopefully we're reaching enough of people and they're realizing what we're doing and they're nominating some folks. But it was nice to see that number that we have so far for that trip.
And we definitely, like the Vietnam veterans, they've kind of been dealt a very crappy hand in life. And I definitely want to focus on reaching out to them, showing them that, hey, people still care about you. You were treated real horribly and crappy, but that's not the case anymore. People do appreciate what you had to do, what you went through, and it's time that you feel good about yourself, what you did, instead of just being ashamed of it and not wanting to talk about it or just push it under the rug.
Yeah, you bet. Well, we're nothing but supportive of everything that you guys are doing. Anything that we can do to help going forward in the way of trips or the different, brand partnerships that we have, that's just something that we definitely are committed to. We believe in what you guys are doing. You guys are helping a lot of people. And, the fact that you guys came here, like Matt said, I mean, you came all the way to Minnesota just to hang out with us, get to know each other a little bit. And
yeah, it's going to be a long trip home
unbelievable.
Chit chat.
Yeah, well worth it.
Podcast.
Well worth it, though. It's glad we got to finally meet you guys. Besides a text message or a Facebook message, it was nice to meet face to face and discuss.
Yeah,
and the partnership, I feel, has definitely grown a lot from our visit. So that was the goal.
Well,
yeah.
Yep.
This is definitely going to take off, boys. What you guys are doing is unremarkable.
Cheers. Hey.
Cheers, buddy.
There you go.
Yeah, we got Bandit Heroes. There it is.
Look at that. Perfect for the hunting camp this fall. Make sure to drink a 7-Up in it, though.
Yes,
right.
We even have pink ones for the ladies. So
Right.
yeah,
Nice. All right, cool.
So you didn't think I like pink, or what? You want to bring me a pink one?
That's my fault. That was my fault.
Well, nonetheless, what you guys are doing is amazing, and we're glad to be a part of it and help out in whatever way we can. I think there's going to be a ton of people, like you guys said. This doesn't just affect the veterans; it affects the families, the other frontline workers. The medical field, the pandemic. Like there's a lot of people out there that make our everyday life possible. So we thank those people nonetheless, and thank everybody that served. And I'm, we know that there's other people out there that are going to want to give the same way you guys are.
Right.
I just, heard the quote at a recent work event too, that you don't start living until you start giving. So there's going to be people out there, and I encourage anybody that, if you guys have any interest, whether it's from a material standpoint or from a time, if we want to put effort behind the scenes with these guys, reach out. Don't hesitate.
Awesome.
Bandit Heroes Outdoors. Check them out.
Appreciate the support. Thank you.
Beyond
guys.
that, you guys got anything else for us?
I think we're good. We appreciate ABO for letting us come up here, taking time away from their families, and I know our wives for letting us take away from time from our families to come up here. But we're making a difference one day at a time, And, you know, it's just a matter of time before we take the whole, like, state by state and throughout the country that we're making a difference. And hopefully people will know our name throughout the country here pretty quick.
You're doing right. Well, Matt.
Roger that.
Matt with ABO, Mike, Wes, Dakota.
Thank you guys.
Stay classy.
Thank you. Signing off. Until next time.